Welcome back to Lemon and Leaf Creative. Today we're going to be making this beautiful little macrame rainbow. It's a two-sided rainbow, so there's no ugly side. So keep watching to DIY this rainbow. You only need a few supplies, and honestly I think I did this thing in under an hour. So let's go. The materials you're going to need for your macrame rainbow are scissors, some cord for the actual rainbow, tape for the ends, a brush for the end, and whatever kind of yarn you want to use for the rainbow. And some kind of needle for when we finish it off. So to start, you're going to cut, I'm going to do a 3-tiered rainbow. You're going to cut the rainbow size you want. I usually go smallest to biggest. So cut there. And remember to leave room for fringe. So really it's going to be about that size. And then you'll make one for the above that. I usually cut a little bit lower just because the yarn tends to make this stuff a little bit thicker than it is to begin with. Ooh, I need some new scissors. And then one more. Like I said, you can do as many tiers as you want. I'm only doing 3 today for this video, just to kind of keep things short. Okay, so now the next step is to tape your ends. So I just use Scotch tape. Tape these ends to keep them nice and straight. I usually tape up to about where I'm gonna stop the string. So for this thicker rope, I like my fringe to be longer because it's so thick, and if you cut it too short, the fringe will just go out instead of kind of laying down. You don't want any crazy looking fringe. So make those about even. We're gonna be trimming at the end too, so this does not need to be perfect. So now we're gonna wrap our first piece of rainbow. I'm going to use this light baby pink, and all you do is tie a knot. Don't tie it at the end because you don't want it to show. Tie it, I usually do about 1 centimeter up. My gosh, these nails are going to be the death of me. There we go. Okay, so now you're going to start at the bottom where that tape is and begin to wrap. This takes a little while. Make sure that you're wrapping those strands nice and close together. You don't want any space. And make sure your tail is staying inside the wrapping. And usually when I get to about 1 inch, I'll push down to make sure everything stays really tight there. Okay, when you get to the end here, I've got the whole thing wrapped, and cut about a 4 to 5 inch tail. 4 is good. And later on, we're going to weave that tail back inside the piece of rope. So now I'm going to do these other two, same thing. So you'll start, and this one I'm using a little bit of a thicker yarn so it'll go faster. You're going to start the same way by tying the yarn onto the end about a little bit up from where you want to start so that you can hide that tail. Tie knot. and start to wrap. So I'm gonna get these wrapped off camera, you get yours wrapped, and then we will move forward. All right, I got this one wrapped. I chose really light colors today. Probably should have chosen something darker so you could see better. But don't forget to cut that tail about 4 inches so that we can weave it back into the rope later. So now I'm gonna go ahead and do this one. I'm doing another cream, you guessed it. So about 1 centimeter up. I'm gonna tie it off and then I will wrap it and get back with you. All right, now this one's done. Cut 4 to 5 inches. And now we've got our 3 rows for our rainbow. So now I'm going to take my needle and let me move the camera in a bit. And I'm going to tuck in these ends. So you'll take the ends, string them through your needle. Hopefully. There we go. And you're going to take your needle. A smaller needle might work better, but I've got this giant one. And I usually like to do at least a couple inches and pull that needle through. And it's going to take the tail up into your piece. Make sure it's nice and tight. And then you're going to pull down a little bit and trim that piece. And then you will see nothing. So go ahead and do that with your other 2 pieces, and then I will show you how to connect all 3. All right, I have got all my tails hidden. Now I'm gonna line all this up. And when I tell you, your things will almost never match up on the end. I'm so serious. I've made so many rainbows and rarely do they come out and they're all perfect. So as you can see, this end's pretty good. Like all of these match up the same. I'm gonna push this white up a little bit because I would rather keep more of the tail. I'm gonna push them all up just a little bit. And then once you get one side even, you can work with the other side. So obviously these are off. So all you have to do is push up the pink. And push up this white. So I pushed these up to make sure that everything's looking even now. Don't worry about the tails because those are gonna get trimmed regardless. So now we're gonna go into the part where we sew it all together. So again, get your needle, and I use like a crochet string. You could use a thread. I prefer the crochet string because it's a little bit thicker without being too thick, and it really holds it all together nicely. So I'm going to cut a pretty long piece of thread and tie that on my hook. Now you're going to poke through, starting at one end, going straight across. Make sure that you stay even. Sometimes you have to wiggle a little to get through because that rope is really tough. So once you're through, push through and pull all your string except for about 5 inches, and give yourself 6 inches just in case. So leave a tail out because later we're going to put this tail back up in here like we did before. So here's the trick now. You're gonna go back through your hole, up about 1 inch, and push back out, same side. This is how you're gonna hide your string, so that you can go back through the other side. So now you're gonna poke through wherever you found for there, and go straight through. And this way you will not see any white string. Same thing, so now we're gonna do it on the outside. Use that hole that you went through. Poke up about 1 inch, come out, pull through, and then go across all 3 colors again. So you just continue this process until you're all the way around. When you're pulling tight, make sure that this is staying 6 inches. You do not want to pull that tail too much. All right, now that you're coming to the end, I usually do about 1 more just to make sure got everything nice and solid. At the very bottom there. My string thought about breaking. Actually, it's still thinking about it. Please don't break. Okay, thank you. All right, so everything is tight. Don't worry about the shape if it's a little crazy right now, because you can reshape it. So I would like to kind of look for any weak spots here, like if everything seems pretty tight, but if you've got any, you can hit those again with thread. You're not gonna mess anything up. So now I'm gonna go from the bottom, because your last thread should be at the bottom, and go as far up as you can without the needle coming out. Just be patient. Whoop. So that's pretty far. And pull that thread through. And then just like you did with tying these off, pull it up tight, and then pull down and trim that, and you're done connecting it. Excellent job. So now you can see it's a little funky. So now you can kind of just reshape. I'm gonna pull this pink down a bit, push this up a bit. There we go. So now you can take this tape off. So I almost forgot, this end is still loose. I was like, why is that falling apart? So string this end into your needle and tuck it back up the way you did the other side. Okay, so now you're going to brush out those ends. Always, 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 I learned from trial and error, mostly error, always brush out your ends before you trim them. The reason for this is, if you trim them and then brush them, they get big. So you might not want to trim them as much. So brush them first and then decide how short you want everything. Okay, now that we are all brushed out, you can see that the ends are super uneven. That's fine, it's no big deal. So now I'm going to trim them. So I usually trim obviously as short as my shortest one, which would be this one right here. So trim a little at a time or you will have major regrets. Wow, these scissors are so bad. Okay. There we go. Even enough, right? This could probably use a little more, but there is your rainbow and it's adorable. You rocked it. So that's it. You are done. You have an awesome, cute, little precious rainbow to give as a gift or hang in your house. Thanks for watching. All right, guys, you did it. You made the macrame rainbow. I hope you enjoyed this video as much as I did. I know when I first started making these, I made so many mistakes. I had like 5 or 6 hot mess rainbows in my little studio. But anyway, so there it is. You benefit from my errors. This is my favorite way. It is the triedest and the truest. Triedest word. Anyways, it is the most tried and true. So if you like this video, give me a thumbs up and subscribe to my channel for more. I will see you next week. Bye!